Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show. Bright suns, rising moons. I guess that's what we say here in the Star Wars world. If you've been to Batu, at least. Have you been to Batu, Jendia?
I have not been to Batu.
No?
Mm,
Ah, ah. It's right in your backyard.
I know. One of these days.
Anyway, welcome back to the show. Um, my very special guest tonight is author Jendia Gammon. Thank you for joining me. You
Just that.
are, yeah, yeah. You've done many science fiction, fantasy, and horror books, and of course, you are a big Star Wars fan. Um, and we're going to get to that here in just a little bit. Brennan, hello. Thank you for being here. We're going to get to that in just a minute. But beforehand, I just have a couple of announcements and then we're going to dive into the fun here. Announcements. No. So tonight's actually our last live show of the year. No live show next week as I'm going back to my hometown for Comic Con, for Ocean City Comic Con. Really
Oh,
excited about that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Um, Next announcement, 54 days until Farpoint 2026. Get your tickets now. That's going to be a very fun weekend at the end of January, early February. We're going to take over an entire hotel for a weekend and just geek
wow.
out about nerd stuff. And then our Discord, we have a Discord server. Holiday party is going to be on the 21st, in which we are going to be watching Christmas Vacation together. Um, we would and maybe a Star Wars holiday special, probably the Lego one. Hey Jack, how's it got? How's it going? And that's it for our announcements. Um, Now let's get to know our guest, Jendia. Jendia, how did you start your Star Wars journey?
Well, I was initiated with the first film with A New
Hmm.
Hope in 1977. It's the first movie I remember seeing in a theater. I was 3 years old, and I thought Alderaan was Earth, so that was a moment. It was life-changing already, even at that young of an age, and, when Empire Strikes Back came out, I was in the line that was around the block, so to speak, with my dad to see it, and I was completely all in. From then on, it was just my obsession for forever, it's just
Yeah.
kickstarted what was already a foundation of watching reruns at home of, like, Star Trek and things like that on our crappy old cathode ray TV, and just living through that major moment that in film history, in pop culture
Yeah.
history, in sci-fi history, and so that's how it started, and I've enjoyed it ever since. I've been to Star Wars Celebration, San Diego Comic-Con on Andor panels, and I've
I did see
I've
that.
talked about and written about Star Wars. I've written my own space opera books. I am extremely happy to be part of this.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I have to ask you what your favorite Star Wars movie is.
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Um, no, I think that's great. And then, so I have to. I also want to ask you because you talked about writing about Star Wars and everything, and with you being a writer, I want to ask you what your favorite Star Wars book is.
Ooh, that's a good question. Gosh, I just read a really good one recently. See, Mike Chin's book, uh, Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Really, really good. I loved that one. It was beautifully written.
Mhm.
There's been so many good ones, and I just recently was reading, the Bad Batch book that came out, and we talked about that on Talking Tauntauns. It's a great one. Adam Christopher always has great books.
Yeah.
So, but going in the Wayback Machine, Splinter of the Mind's Eye I read that at a really young age, and that really stuck with me for a long time. And I loved the original novelizations of the first trilogy.
Mhm.
So, those have been some of my favorites. I haven't read everything. Of course, I loved Heir to the Empire,
Yeah.
anything Thrawn related. So those are some of my faves.
Yeah. That's really cool. I personally love Sanctuary as well. Bad Batch Sanctuary is just
Yeah.
an amazing. book.
It
Um,
was it's really good. I think
yeah,
that, Lamar did is just a magnificent job capturing the characters, kind of digging into some things I wasn't really expecting to think about, and
yeah,
having watched Andor, I started to make some parallels there
hmm
too of, like, spy descendant versus spy descendant, like, how is I kinda talked about that on that show, how the
yeah,
contrast between, let's say, Luthen, and, like, versus,
yeah.
that other situation, so it was really well done,
hmm
beautiful. I left a review on Goodreads if you wanna read my take on that.
I'll check that out too.
Yeah,
And Brotherhood, that's such a great novel too.
yeah,
It's
it was
so
just
yeah.
Mike Chen is just amazing.
I loved what he did with Anakin and the one youngling, and how he taught the youngling that she didn't need to be like a violent person to be a hero, and she could do her own thing and be a hero, and that was just
Kinda
yeah.
bittersweet,
Mhm.
reading that, yeah,
It really is. And then it also lays a great foundation for Anakin with Ahsoka later on
exactly.
down the
Yep,
road. Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So you told me your favorite overall movie. So I guess Empire's your favorite original trilogy movie.
yes.
What would your favorite prequel movie be and your favorite sequel movie?
Favorite prequel movie, Revenge of
Hey
the
John.
Sith.
Yeah.
Well, okay, if it's the prequel trilogy,
Yeah.
but prequel movie,
hmm
Rogue One,
Oh, of course. It's a great one.
yeah. So, but, like, if we're talking the trilogy, then Revenge of the Sith. So,
Yeah. And then sequel trilogy?
Force Awakens is my personal favorite.
It's a
Yeah,
good one.
yeah.
It's a good one.
I know it's
Yeah.
not like it doesn't take as many risks, but it does take some big ones, and, I feel like it kind of I don't know, it was just such a thrill to be there and living through it, and Rey was just an amazing character to get
Mhm.
to know up close.
Yeah.
Great to see everybody,
Oh, yeah.
again, so
Yeah, we're gonna talk more about The Force Awakens here in a little bit because that's gonna be our main topic of the evening. Let's go to some of your work here. You have written some horror novels. You have a middle grade fantasy novel coming out next year, which is a choose your own adventure.
yep, quite literally a choose your own adventure book by the company.
Yes, that's awesome. And then you've got a fantasy trilogy coming out in April, called The Veil of the Seven Dragons, or part of a fantasy trilogy.
Right.
That I love that cover art, by the way. That cover
His
art
That's
is
Chris Panettiere. He also did my, thriller horror Atacama, the cover for that, and
hmm
he's just amazing. He's a writer and an artist, and so he just killed it with the Veil of Seven Dragons cover. It's so pretty, and it should be on global pre-order soon. Right now, you can pre-order it from the publisher, but it'll be global pre-order very soon.
very cool, very cool.
Godfestation is on pre-order, and that is my Appalachian weird horror novella coming out in August.
Nice. How many pages for the novella?
How many pages? What is the final page count? I don't remember what it
Okay.
was. It's under 200, I believe.
Okay. Cool.
So it's
Cool.
it's a true novella. It's a smaller book. I think it packs a lot in it though, so,
Mhm.
like, out of the gate, and it kinda hits the road running, I'll just put it like that. Um, hits the road driving. As you see on the cover, there's a strange, really creepy cover, really atmospheric.
I.
And then the 4th book out next year is the final book in my Amethyst Lantern series book, which is a
mhm.
futuristic lunar punk sci-fi fantasy. It's under my J. Diane Dotson name,
Mhm.
and yeah, so that's coming. That's writing the prequel now, and that wraps up that trilogy. And I
That's
got,
fantastic.
Nebula and BSFA finalist nominations for the first book, The Inn at the Amethyst Lantern, in that series.
That is amazing.
Thank
That
you.
is fantastic.
Thank you.
That's
It was also longlisted for the Lodestar at the Hugos, so that was my big, like, "Whoa, okay, turning point book."
that's pretty cool. And then you've written some space opera science fiction as
Yep.
well, which I think is really cool. I'm definitely going to check out Heliopause because that just seems really up my alley.
Yeah, I would recommend reading Ephemeris because originally Ephemeris was going to be the first book, and I
Okay.
decided that Heliopause should kind of draw in on a more intimate level and kind
Hmm.
of explain how the humans even got out in the galaxy to begin with. So, it's the 2 are definitely coupled, Ephemeris ends up being both prequel and sequel to
Okay.
Heliopause because of that, but, and then it also introduces the main character, Galadea. So it's the Questrazon saga, and so it's Heliopause, Ephemeris, Accretion, and Luminiferous, 4 books, and if you like Star Wars, Doctor Who, Star Trek, Fifth Element, and anime, you're probably gonna love the Questrazon saga.
Nice. John asks, would you be interested in writing a Star Wars story in the future?
Absolutely. I
What
think that would be kind of a full circle moment for me.
what era would you want to play in?
Gosh, any of them, to be honest with you, any of them, and because you know, I feel like Old Republic, there's so many great stories there already. I just don't wanna say no to any of it because I would
Yeah.
happily take it on.
Hmm.
I feel like I could just jump in at any time, and I feel right now, obviously, like there's some really interesting things happening, before the Battle of Yavin, and then
Hmm.
right around, the time of Mandalorian and things like that. But there's all these other places where you could plug in. I'd love to write. Oh, Jack, thank you so much. Um, I would love to write Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
I felt her so much in Andor. It'd be amazing to write her, but honestly, any of them, I would write Bad Batch. I would write, you know,
Yeah.
anybody in Old New Republic. I would any of it. Rebels, bring it on. I would write villains. I've got used to writing an anti-hero in one of my this year's books, Doomflower. And I like writing villains. So I would take it all on. I've written robots. I've written aliens. I've written, the whole range. Bring it on.
Nice. Nice. I would love to see it. I think it would be an
It
incredible
would be fun.
yeah, yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun too.
Yeah. So, okay, anybody listening out there, like, give me the licensing deal for Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. I'll talk to Lamar for you too. See if
He's
he can
great.
talk
Yeah,
to some of those people.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm friends with some of them, because
yeah,
I've met them at Star Wars Celebration and
yeah.
we talk, like Mike and Adam, for example. So
Mike Siglane's a really nice dude.
Mike Chen.
Or Mike Chen, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
Mike
and
Chen.
then Adam Christopher. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I thought you meant Mike Siglane for a
But,
second.
like, anybody at Lucasfilm that's out there, I would like to be on board. I'm in LA and I can't wait to see the museum, next year.
Yeah. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool to see as well.
Very.
Seeing all the artwork and then the
Can't
influences on
wait.
George's life. Yeah. Yeah. Um, shall we get to some news real quick?
Sure.
All right. So I'm gonna save the big one for last because that's the one that was just announced. But we have a partnership with Columbia, or Star Wars has a partnership with Columbia. If we had a partnership with Columbia, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but Star Wars has a partnership with Columbia Clothing. We've got some Endor inspired collections here. Billy Lord was the main model for it, and she looked just like her mother as Princess Leia.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
Yeah. Eh, anything on the collaboration other than you we all want it?
Yeah, I really appreciated a couple of things about it. The fact that, the poncho, I mean, I've always wanted it,
Yeah.
since the movie came out. And then I love that, it's an honor to her mother and that her kids are coming up in this world, with that
Yeah.
family legacy of both their mother being in the films as well as their grandmother, obviously being a legend. So I love too that the kids were dressed like little Ewoks with their little hoodies. It was just precious. So I think it's a smart move. I think, it's a practical outfit that has appeal, and I
Yeah.
feel like if Columbia wanted to dive into making more Star Wars related clothes, Andor alone would be chock full of ideas, and I really actually want all of those.
Yes. Yes,
But,
me
yeah,
too.
the Leia, I have to say, yeah, look at that. I mean, it's just beautiful, perfect. When,
Yeah.
Return of the Jedi came out, I had extremely long hair. I was, like, I was 9 years old when it came out, so I had extremely long hair, and I used to kind of braid it up, and so I used to play Leia, especially in that movie. I would go in the woods behind my house in Tennessee and just, totally be all about it.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun. I miss Carrie, so I was very touched by this.
Yeah, you're right, Jack. It is an interesting follow-up
Yeah,
to the Hoth collection that they did.
absolutely.
But I love this photo of Billy with her kid,
Precious.
like this. And can they make this Ewok jacket in our sizes, please?
I
Like,
think they need to, right? I think they need to have him. Yeah.
yeah.
Or around the house even. It's cool.
Oh yeah. And
Oh,
then
no.
that's the poncho there with boots.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I love this partnership that they have, and it's going to be expensive because it's Columbia,
It's
but
true.
it's going to be a
Yeah.
beautiful collection. So, um, oh, here I'm going to post a link to Jendia's books right now for you, John. That way you have that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Um, all right, let's move on here. So Andor was nominated for 2 Critics' Choice Awards, one for Best Actor with Diego Luna, and the other one Best Drama Series. Um,
Richly deserved on both counts, yeah.
but it should have been nominated for more, honestly.
More, and, Genevieve O'Reilly should have also had a nomination, um, Stellan Skarsgård. I mean, just, like, so many people, it's just such an incredible show, incredible acting. There's just there's no dip in quality anywhere there, just incredible talent.
It felt like I was watching like one of those premiere HBO shows, like as I was
Absolutely.
going through. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. Or Apple.
yeah.
Apple's kinda taking the sci-fi crown, I will say,
Mhm.
yeah. Could talk all day about that.
I mean, Foundation alone on Apple is worth the price of admission there.
I mean, they've got Foundation, they've got Severance, they've got
Mhm.
Pluribus, and I'm all Pluribus pilled right now, so, it's
I
just
haven't watched it yet.
oh, wow. Yeah, it's a must. So it just I feel like Apple understood the assignment. Let's throw all the money at sci-fi, and
Mhm.
it's good. And
Yeah.
more of that, and I'd like to see more great Star Wars shows,
Mhm.
I don't know what's coming down the line, but I'm ready for whatever it is.
So, next year, I believe we have Ahsoka season 2.
Oh, right, yeah, we do have
Yeah.
Ahsoka, yeah.
And
And of course,
then
a movie with
yeah.
Mandalore and Grogu, yeah.
Yeah, we've got Mando and Grogu next year as well, and then we also have, um oh gosh, I'm trying to blank. I'm blanking right now because there's so many projects right now.
I know.
Oh, we have the Mall animated series too.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, which oh, I've never asked you, what's your favorite Star Wars animated series?
I mean, Clone Wars for sure. Yeah. It's I loved Clone Wars.
Mhm.
So, Bad Batch was great.
Yeah.
I'd say, of course, starting in Clone Wars, but Clone Wars was my favorite, and I don't know, I just gets me in my feels, and it's a lot of fun to rewatch it,
Yeah.
especially when you've watched all the movies again, and then to go back and watch Clone Wars and just and with Ahsoka,
Mhm.
obviously being part of that, so
Ninth Jedi show, that's right, John, the Ninth Jedi
oh,
show. Yeah, 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 I forgot about that one.
I did have fun, I've had fun with different shows, like, I actually
Mhm,
really liked Kenobi,
mhm,
um,
me too.
I liked it a lot, and I was very glad we got him back as Kenobi, so, I mean, I like them all, like,
Mhm.
but my favorite is still Clone Wars, even you asked about animated, though,
Yeah, I'm
Clone Wars for animated,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, yeah, I mean, Clone Wars was just this amazing thing that happened at, like, the right moment.
Right,
Um, yeah, and, it really just enhanced that trilogy so
yeah,
much.
and I
Yeah.
appreciate too that my kids who are teenagers, they really loved Clone Wars too and got all in.
That's
So
awesome.
it was a really great experience
Mhm.
to enjoy it on my own and then to see their enjoyment of it and appreciation, of
Yeah.
the characters. So it was great.
Yeah, and I think that 7th season was its most perfect season that it
Great.
had.
Yep.
Yeah. Um, yeah, the Kenobi show was fantastic. Now are you in the boat where you want a 2nd season, or are you good with the way that it ended?
If I have to be good with the way it ended, then it's great, but
Okay.
I love McGregor as Obi-Wan, and I know he's expressed interest in doing more. I feel like there's an opening in the Star Wars universe of dealing with the seedy underbelly of the
Yeah.
galaxy that Solo kinda tapped into, and I would have liked to have seen, the Lando show or anywhere, but I'd love to see Obi-Wan kind of navigating,
Mm,
going kind of behind the scenes in this sort of seedy Star Wars, galaxy in the live version. I would love it, but we may never get more of it, so I'm just glad we got what we got, right?
yeah.
So, we don't
Yeah.
need we don't need more. It's a contained show, but it would be nice to kind of have him away from the Skywalker family, doing
Yes.
something behind the scenes that's just about him and trying
Mhm,
to survive, and that's what I'd love to see.
mhm. Um, I wanna ask you real quick, how did you feel about The Acolyte?
You know what? I actually didn't watch The Acolyte yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that's on my partly because it's been an insane, as I mentioned earlier, a very rough time period for me. So, like, I've kind of just been like a skipping stone, and some things I've only seen, like, 2 movies this year. It's just been
Mhm.
a really weird, hard time. So, like, that's on my bucket list to watch.
Nice.
That'll be a reward for after I get this book deadline, because that's the other part of it. It's like, this year's been a lot.
Yeah. No, I
And I'm looking forward to watching it. I'm so sorry it got canceled, though.
yeah, yeah, we are too.
Yeah,
Because it had so much potential. It really just
right.
had a lot of potential, yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe we see more in that universe. Maybe we'll get,
Mhm,
other kinds of properties in it, I feel like there was enough love for it that
mhm.
maybe something comes of it. You just never know.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, we've had 2 novels so far,
Yeah,
set with The Acolyte. I've read one of the 2. I read Wayseeker, and that one was really fun.
yeah, cool,
Yeah, yeah, it's a prequel that happens about 10 years before the show.
okay.
Yeah. Um, all right, let's talk about the big news topic here. Star Wars is coming back to the theaters in 2027 for the 50th anniversary. This is an uncorrected version. Yeah, this is the original version, it looks like.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's the day before my birthday too, so how perfect. Um, I am so stoked about that. I'll be there.
Nice. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I figured if I wasn't going to get to celebration, this was going to be the big thing that I did for the 50th.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. Now, did you go to the special editions in '97 when they
Oh,
came
yeah.
out?
Yep,
Yeah,
I was there. It was
that-
great.
that's great. Yeah, those were a lot of fun to see in the
They
theater.
were so
Those,
fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. I can't believe we have to wait 2 years for this thing. Well, less than 2 years now, but it'll be fun.
Yeah,
It'll be like Christmas all over again.
absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like the lead up to this is gonna kind of be like how it was right before The Force Awakens, where it's kind of like a Christmas thing again.
Definitely, and
Yeah.
I would imagine there's gonna be all kinds of other events that haven't been announced yet related to it. Have to
No,
be.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
tie-ins and events. So you'll have books and comics and
yeah.
events, and I'd love to be involved in any of that, to be honest.
Mhm. I'd love to see the original Marvel Comics run get re-released
God,
again.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. Know that they keep reprinting it like an omnibus format, but it would be cool to get like a special like re-release
I
for
wouldn't be
that.
surprised if they did. I think that would be a really fun and smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Reissue.
I would love the classic Kenner. I They should do that absolutely just as part of the 50th. It'd be kinda
Mhm.
wild not to, wouldn't it?
I think it would be great because you could get the Luke Skywalker with the yellow lightsaber coming out of his hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm down for that.
Yeah,
Um, those Kenner toys were amazing anyway.
I know. I still like a little bit of anecdote on my
Yeah.
part. When I was a kid, I'm the youngest of 4, and my siblings were much older, but, all I ever wanted was, like, I wanted the Millennium Falcon, and I never got it. Never got it.
Uh, you don't know if you could collect the full comic run again.
But
I I mean, that would be pretty cool if they did issue it out at a monthly basis. That would be pretty cool.
amazing. Yes.
Yeah. Random. I hope they release the New Hope radio drama as
That would
yeah,
be
that would be
that
cool.
would be perfect. That's a
Yeah.
really good idea.
Yeah. I think they're they're really sitting on a gold mine of ideas right now.
Abs
Um and I have a feeling like they're gonna plan something really, really big,
Oh, yeah,
other than Celebration. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if they did it at the parks too.
and I don't know, they might do it even at something involved at the museum,
Yeah.
since it'll be open next year, they'll be ready for
Hmm.
7.
I mean, I could see them like doing a premiere screening of the re-release at the
That's what I was
museum.
thinking.
Yeah,
I would just be really surprised if they weren't gonna do something there, you
yeah.
know?
It makes sense for them to do it because
Right.
it's George Lucas's museum.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah. My big hope is a large orchestra with Star Wars music. Yeah,
Oh, right.
yeah. Like get John Williams to play a Hollywood Bowl one more time, like with the New Hope, you know?
Oh, no. Amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's gonna be fun. I'm excited for this one. I bet you we're gonna get more and more news, as you said, as we're gonna get closer to this thing.
Yeah.
So,
Abs
um, I also wouldn't be surprised if they did like another screening at Celebration in 2 years.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
Talk about a fan experience. I hope they do. I hope they do.
yeah, yeah. So, speaking of movies, a little movie that came out about 10 years ago is about to celebrate its 10th anniversary.
Crazy to me.
It's insane. I remember that teaser trailer.
Oh, we all freaked out completely.
Yeah, it was really cool. It
It was.
was yeah. What was the lead up to Force Awakens like for you?
Oh, I was so stoked. And knowing too that I was going to be able to see a new Star Wars series with my kids. Right, because they were right at the age where they got it, and they were all in, and it was like
Mhm,
just from my own nerd experience and then feeling that it was incredibly special for me.
mhm,
And it was a lot of fun for all of us. We had a
mhm.
blast. It was great. I don't know. That was just an unmissable thing. Very special.
Yeah, it was like it was a special time, really, like
Was.
that lead up to it
Yeah.
because we everybody was excited
Yep.
and just I don't know if it happened in your theater, but a lot of people cheered as soon as that Lucasfilm logo came
Oh,
on.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That absolutely happened. Yep.
yeah. Did you real quick with that, did you participate in Force Friday? Like the Force Friday merchandise that happened like beforehand?
I'm trying to remember. I feel like we did, but I don't remember what it was. Gosh, feels like it though. I don't remember. I
So
probably ask my kids and they'd be like, "Well, yeah."
so they released some new Black series for it and then like they released a
Yeah,
bunch of toys.
I think we did, but I don't
Yeah.
remember exactly what it was.
Yeah. And then we also at that point we got Lost Stars and we got Aftermath,
Yeah.
which Lost Stars was an amazing novel. Um but yeah, it was just an incredible experience being in that theater and yeah, BB-8 like which how can you not love that little guy?
I know.
Yeah. Um, what looking back on the movie now, and like having rewatched it a bunch of times, what are your thoughts on this movie?
I still am so immersed in Ray's introduction and
Mhm.
her learning about the Force and everything like that. I in a lot of ways, like, I wished I'd had Ray when I was growing up because, she she was in a lot of ways kind of the answer to George's original
Mhm.
idea of having, a young woman as the hero of the saga. And of course, that was one reason I made the Questers Saga so I could have strong women characters in space. That becomes especially apparent in Ephemeris. But I don't know. I That was one of the things I was, of course, devastated about Han Solo.
Mhm.
It seemed like it kind of had to happen that way for the sort of poetry of Vader Luke. And it was
Mhm.
just it had this having come heir to the empire, right? Like this whole
Yeah.
alternate history thing, and then feeling that sense of dread of like something's going to go wrong with the descendants of these people. So
Yeah.
it was pretty quick out of the gate there with Kylo Ren and poor Ben. So I it was a very emotional experience, right?
Mhm.
I loved learning about Ray. Everybody was great.
Mhm.
I feel like the moment where Han and Chewie are on the Falcon is just like we're back, and
Mhm.
it was just an emotional roller coaster ride for me personally. But
Mhm.
I loved it, and I felt like it was lived in. It felt like Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was just a great time. And there were a lot of beats, of course, that it kind of repeated from the other movies, but that also kind of helped make it feel like Star Wars, and you knew you were in it, so it was good.
Yeah.
And
It's
Poe were great, like it's just like, come on, it was a great group of Scooby Gang,
now. Did you want Finpo to be a couple just like the rest of us?
I mean, I would have been open for like whatever they wanted to do. I was all in because I loved the three of them so much.
Yeah.
Like whatever their destiny was, I was all in. I
Mhm.
wanted Finn to become a Jedi,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I still do.
Hopefully that's what we get with the new Ray movie. Like hopefully that's what we get with that.
I would love that so
Yeah.
much. I really would.
Yeah. Poe's a fantastic character
Oh yeah,
that should have
he's a
gotten more
delight.
screen time.
Like I feel like with Poe is so exuberant,
Yeah.
and I love just his passion and his enjoyment of everything. Oh God, favorite scene? That's hard. I mean, I mentioned Chewie and Han, of
Yeah.
course. That's really hard. I mean, I even just loved the entire opening with Ray. I was obsessed with the whole thing. I just felt like I was there. You know.
Her theme is like one of the best themes ever put to
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gosh, I mean, it's hard for me to pick a favorite scene in it. I love the whole movie. It was a blast.
I love that X-wing scene, John, as well, but I also love Poe and Kylo in the beginning of the movie, where Poe just goes, "So who talks first? You talk first. I talk first. Like who talks first?" Like, that to me is just funny.
It was a delight.
Hmm. Mm. And we got some really interesting side characters in that movie as well. Um, like Snap Wexley showing up there. Lore Santeca, which they actually explored some of his backstory in novels and everything. Which I really wish they hadn't killed him in the beginning of that movie.
Oh, well.
Yeah. And Maz Kanata, like, love Maz Kanata.
I mean,
Uh,
my favorite. I've already mentioned my favorite. All about the robots, which you'll notice that among my stories. I have a lot of robot stories.
that's awesome. So, now quick question here because you love droids as
Yep.
we all do. Um, who would win in a fight, BB-8 or Chopper?
I mean, BB-8 is a delight, but Chopper's a bit of a menace. So
Hmm.
I gotta say that Chopper would have the upper hand in devious.
Chopper's a straight up war criminal.
Yeah. I mean, BB-8 would be earnest and cunning and but no.
um, and speaking of BB-8, the practical effects to make that droid
Oh,
just
amazing.
move, yeah.
I remember, like, when he would come out on stage,
Hmm.
and I thought that was just wonderful, it was just so well done.
John wants to know who your favorite droid is.
Well, you might assume BB-8, but then as a little bit of trivia that I have a rescue budgie that I named R2, so there's your hint.
Nice.
I love R2-D2 and always will, but BB-8 is a very close second.
Hmm.
R2 has been through it, let's face it, been there, and is always just the best.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel
The
like
GOAT, absolutely the GOAT.
he is the goat.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like R2's kind of wasted in the sequel trilogy, though.
Yeah, he's more
Yeah,
like, "Oh, let's get the band back together," but, kind of doesn't really have that was one thing I didn't like about the sequels, yeah, because I
yeah,
would love to have R2. I mean, I know R2 is pretty old at that point, but, come on, he's my favorite droid. Anyway,
he
yeah.
is the goat. He is the
It's
goat.
cute.
He is the goat. I mean, he saved Anakin Skywalker. He saved Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker how many times?
He was with Padme Amidala, it's just
Hmm.
it's just been he's been through it. I always kind of liked, obviously his relationship with Anakin was great,
Hmm.
but always for me though, I think of especially Empire and what he goes through with Luke on Dagobah and Yoda just messing with him, vice versa. It was great. So, yeah, it's R2 for me all the way.
Yeah, when he gets eaten by the monster on Dagobah and
Yeah,
then
and then
spat out.
spat out. Yep.
Um, back to Force Awakens though. Um, Death Star 3. Thoughts on that?
I feel like it's a gravity well, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things like I wish that it hadn't been that. There's some beats obviously in the sequel trilogy that I'm like, we really didn't need to see this again. There was something to be said, and this isn't full blasphemy, but
Yeah.
we already had that with Return of the Jedi, where like, wait, another Death Star, but they made it work. It just kind of felt like, oh, you guys.
Well, well, my question here is if it's taking the energy of a star, right, and putting it into the super weapon, how are they siphoning energy from these stars when Starkiller Base has, unless it's a rogue planet, it has its own rotation and orbit.
I don't know.
Like that to me just didn't make sense.
No, yeah. I mean, there was some logic gaps that I was kind of not enthralled by.
Yes.
But
Okay.
I feel like the planet killer stuff. I mean, Foundation obviously
Yeah.
did that too, and I was like, I don't know. There comes a point where you're like, all right, we get it. You can blow up a planet, so can we do something else?
Another Death Star too far.
Yeah, kyber crystals. I mean, obviously, like that always is a thing. It was an interesting concept in terms of that,
Yeah.
but yeah,
Yeah. I mean, kyber crystals can be on any planet really because Jeddah had kyber
get
crystals,
ahead of
but that was a
Yep.
moon. But it was just the physics of Starkiller Base just didn't make sense. Like, yeah.
You know, I mean, the thing about it being sci-fi fantasy is
Yeah.
that you can kind of do a little hand waving, like, well, this isn't our galaxy. This isn't how things operate.
Hmm.
And you kind of have to like suspend disbelief more in the Star
Yeah.
Wars pantheon. But I felt like as a plot device, as a system, I was just like, kind of wanting something else. Yeah,
Yeah. But I will say this, the Battle of Starkiller Base with the X-Wings is
it
fantastic.
was. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
that X-Wing.
I'm kind of biased. I love X-wing battles a lot. That's just that's your Star Wars. Like you're kind of like fully. It's so very Star Wars. To have
Mhm.
X-wing battle.
And that X-Wing design, I love that new X-Wing design so much.
I wish
Like,
I had one. I should get one.
you should.
I
You
should.
should. X-Wings are so cool. Love seeing them in action. Of course, who doesn't love X-Wings?
Right.
Except for Y-Wing lovers. Y-Wing
There's
lovers.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. And the occasional B-Wing lover.
Rare, but it does.
I've never come across somebody that loves the U-Wing though. Like, nobody's told me.
Somebody out there does.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I want to talk about Finn real quick because we briefly mentioned him. Um, I think his story might actually be the best of the Force Awakens.
I agree
Yeah.
because we really didn't get to know stormtroopers, except for their terrible aim and their lack of or too much stature or whatever. Like, I think so many people originally had expectations for what stormtroopers were or were not.
Yeah.
Clone Wars made sure that this was not the same thing, but we never really got to know any of them, and it was just nice to and refreshing to have somebody like Finn just whole cloth change up everything instantly.
Hmm. Yeah. Just seeing him break away from that programming that
Yeah,
was like instilled in him for such a long time. Finn has a really interesting story and really drove the plot forward.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so and I felt like Finn was kind of, robbed of additional
Hmm.
character development. I mean, we're talking about Force Awakens, but
Yeah.
Last Jedi
Y-
kind of frustrated me. I was like, I really didn't need for him to have a romance interest. That kind of bugged me because I was like,
Yeah.
I don't care about that. Like, let's talk about him and like who he is. Let's keep these people separate and have their separate lives without them having to,
Hmm.
I don't know, whatever. Didn't seem right somehow. Um, I just wanted so much more of and for Finn than
Hmm.
we got.
But going to Last Jedi real quick about Finn, they should have focused on him and Phasma in that movie instead of him and
Thank
Rose.
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that drove me kind of insane. Like,
Hmm.
I was like, "Come on, like, that's right there, let's why? What?" That really frustrated me.
Hmm. Because that would have had that fight between him and Phasma, like just
See,
yeah.
yeah, all of us were robbed.
Yeah.
That was one of my least favorite parts about that movie. I was just
Yeah.
so frustrated.
Finn and Poe together as they face
I think
Phasma. That would have
that
been
would have been awesome too,
mhm,
right? But yeah,
yeah.
that was such a I was expecting much more than we got out of that,
Mhm,
and that was disappointing.
yeah. Um, I think that Finn's strongest movie is definitely Force Awakens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Director switch up. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I felt like, in some ways, I kind of feel like instead of having like a trilogy that they could have actually done a show and had
Mhm,
that character development
mhm,
instead of movies, and we would have had a lot of great payoffs
mhm,
if it had been a series. Oh yeah, Phasma was absolutely underutilized.
mhm,
I'm like, Phasma was an amazing potential, and
mhm.
that was frustrating.
Have you read the Phasma novel?
I have not. I need to
That
read that one.
that
That's
one's
another
very
one
good.
that's on my list.
Yeah. That one's very, very good. But you're right, Jack. Like so underutilized, especially in Force Awakens. Like,
Yeah, I was so excited because I thought, God, what a perfect opportunity! What an interesting character! This is awesome, and then
mhm.
oh,
and and I get like why Gwendolyn Christie was in it because they were trying to capitalize on the Game of
Game of
Thrones
Thrones.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but at the same time, like she could have. I mean, she shows so much range in everything that she does.
oh yeah,
That yeah. Like if they had kept her alive in Rise of Skywalker, like she could have been the Resistance spy instead of Hux.
That would have been amazing, right?
Yeah,
Would have been amazing. Yeah, and
yeah,
she does have great in range. I love her in Severance, like, she's
yeah,
quite interesting in that, like,
yeah.
very different, um ugh, well,
So, quick side note: I have a hot take about Severance.
okay, bring it.
Okay, and I hope this doesn't stop us from being friends.
I mean, I came to Severance being very skeptical about the show, so
Yeah,
just know that.
I don't think that finale is as good as people say it is.
Oh, yeah, well, like, the finale kinda bugged me, to be
Yeah,
honest, but there's like, I was powerfully annoyed, honestly, because I was like,
yeah.
"What?" So, yeah, I had some problems with that, but I also feel like, okay, this isn't gonna be it's not gonna turn out how we think it's gonna turn out, so
Oh
I'm
yeah,
waiting for that fake out and the red herring stuff, but yeah,
yeah.
it's not my favorite either.
Like the very end of that finale, I kind of saw that coming a mile away.
Right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, totally.
yeah.
Yeah, we're on the
But
same page there.
yeah, I wanted to talk about that real quick because we talked about Severance.
Yeah, it was yeah, but I'm
Uh,
kind of just like, "Okay, well, let's just see what happens next." I didn't like it either, but, let's
yeah,
see what happens next.
yeah,
I was actually kinda yelling at the screen going, "My god, what? You just got God,"
yeah. Like I get why he does what he does, like getting
Right,
her out. Like
I know,
yeah, and I was thinking, okay, he got her out. That's all that matters. And then I'm like,
but
he's gonna go do that. Like,
it made me crazy. Yeah,
yeah,
but supposed to, right? Like, we're
yeah,
talking about it. Like, it got under our skin, so they know what they're doing. So I'm just really who knows what's gonna happen next, and I think that's one reason I like the show as much as I do. It's like, I
mhm,
don't know what's gonna happen, no idea, and that's a refreshing thing. Same thing with Pluribus, like, I have no idea. Let's go.
yeah.
Yeah,
I am gonna check that out
you
eventually
got
because
to. Yeah,
yeah,
yep,
I did enjoy Breaking Bad. Like I did enjoy Breaking Bad quite a bit.
yeah.
So
Vince Gilligan, I've loved him since The X-Files,
yeah,
you know, Better Call Saul too. I actually kinda liked better than Breaking Bad, but I love them both, but this is very it is sci-fi, it is
mhm,
very, complex characters and an interesting concept, and we don't know where it's going, and I like how it's continually subverting what we're thinking is going to happen. I don't wanna spoil it, but
yeah.
it's very powerfully subverting us every single episode. So we're kind of kept on shaky ground, like, I don't know what is gonna happen, but it's, like, endlessly fun to speculate about. I haven't felt
Yeah.
like that about a show in a long time.
But that's uh, I love that you're talking about that because that is the key to great television.
I
Like,
agree.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Like, I wanna be just kept on my toes. Like, I
Yeah.
wanna predict anything.
And this will definitely do that, and I'm appreciating it's a slow burn, that we're
Yes.
not getting all the answers at once,
Mhm,
that this is an unfolding thing, and the characters are not cookie cutter,
mhm,
this is really interesting stuff they're digging into, and even the most subtle flicker of her face is just character development for miles, so it's gonna get some awards, and so is she.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
see
I
everything.
hope so. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I did see, speaking of Apple TV, and we did talk about Severance, Critics' Choice Awards, Severance did get nominated for Best Drama.
yep. Not
Um,
at all surprised, yeah.
but I think The Pit is gonna take that, honestly.
Very well done.
Yeah, yeah,
This is I mean, spoiled for choice, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, The Pit I thought was fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. Anyway, um, back to or do you have any other thoughts on The Force Awakens before we get into what other things you geek out about?
I think, one of the quieter moments that I really appreciated was, uh, Leia embracing Rey and,
Yes.
you know, that sense of, like I mean, for Leia, it's obviously a much deeper tragedy, in
Mhm.
so many ways, but and yet she holds space for Ray's shock and grief.
Mhm.
Like it's just a that was a powerful moment. I loved it. Let's see what else. I I like the world building when we are introduced to Ray. I keep coming back to it
Mhm.
because it was so powerful, and
Oh.
my kids really got immersed in that too.
Mhm.
And it felt like we spent more time with her than we kind of did with other characters, getting to
Mhm.
know them in other movies, and just even the world building of what's the food like,
Yeah.
her doing her portions and things like that,
Thanks, Jack.
and it's all of this rich, thank you, Jack, sort of immersive
Mhm.
world building was great. I loved all the little details
Mhm.
just through the film.
Yeah.
I like the dynamics, obviously, between the 3 leads that we have,
Mhm.
another 3, the 2 guys and the gal kinda deal,
Mhm.
and that we didn't know what was coming. It was very fresh. It's just like we're back in it, and
Mhm.
now it's gonna be very different, it's not gonna be oh, the thoughts on Kylo Ren, that's a good question. Kylo's an interesting character. I It took me a little while to kind of get to know him, first of
Mhm.
all, and to understand his motivations. And as I mentioned earlier, the sort of shadow from like the other things that didn't happen, like Heir of the Empire, that other alternate
Yeah.
universe that didn't happen. But I was dreading that dynamic of something's going to happen with the descendants
Mhm.
of the Skywalker family, right? And
Yeah.
he was he was interesting. I felt like he was a little one note
Mhm.
in the Force Awakens. He was better in Last Jedi. I kind of finally got to see who he was a bit.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I had mixed feelings about him, to be honest.
There's a comic that's ongoing right now called Legacy of Vader that deals with Kylo Ren in between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. And
I
I
need
would
to read that.
definitely yeah, I would definitely suggest that one. Very entertaining. Charles Soule writes it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's done a lot of great stuff.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, Kylo is very one note in that movie.
Yeah,
Like
in that movie, he's one note. Yeah,
yeah. I feel like every villain in that movie feels like a Bond villain, like a mustache
yeah,
twirling
yeah,
Bond villain.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't really feel like I never felt too scared of any of them because
Yeah.
they just kind of were, like you said, they're almost figurehead
Yeah.
villains, caricatures almost,
Yeah. Yeah. Um well, how about we talk about some of the stuff that you geek out and then we'll wrap things up.
right, you got that.
Yes. So, what are some of the other things that you love to geek out about?
I mentioned Pluribus because that's
Yeah.
kind of the water cooler show of the moment right now.
Mhm.
I'm very excited to see what happens with Star Trek because there's been a lot of changes. I'm a little bit nervous.
Mhm.
Like Strange New Worlds has what, like another year, and then that's
Yeah.
over. But it's sounding to me like they might kind of do a soft launch. Weren't they going to do like sort of like the first 5 years? The
Yeah.
of like having Kirk at all back on the Enterprise and exploring.
Mhm.
I'm kind of interested to see where that's going. I like Strange New Worlds a lot, and I actually
Mhm.
do like how Kirk is portrayed in it,
Mm.
which is a little bit of a switch up, right? And I don't know. I'm curious where that's going to go. I'm really wondering what's going to happen with Doctor Who because now that it's away from Disney again, I'm guessing they're kind of do another sort of reboot. And I'm a Whovian, so I'm kind of just waiting. We're all kind of waiting to see what there's going to be a Christmas special next year.
Mhm.
So waiting to see what's going to happen with that. What else is coming down the line? There's TV is kind of where it's at right now. I feel
Yeah.
like a lot of ways.
Can I ask you something real quick because you mentioned Doctor Who?
Yeah,
How did you feel about that regeneration?
which
Shooties
Oh, into
into
well, I wasn't thrilled about it.
yeah.
I'm being diplomatic because I was
Hmm.
like, I think quite literally, I said very loudly, "Really?" Because I loved him.
Yeah,
He was so, oh, so alive, so vibrant, and I don't know, I was like, "Why did it have to be her?"
yeah,
Oh my god, but I don't know what's going on, so I'm also stepping back and going, "We'll just see how this plays out."
yeah,
'Cause who
yeah.
knows? But, I gotta say, so I'm it's not genre, but I'm geeking out over some more Apple shows like,
Hmm.
Slow Horses is one of my favorites,
It's a good one.
Down Cemetery Road, I actually feel like Emma Thompson in that role is so doctor coded that she would make an amazing Doctor Who,
Said
like,
Down Cemetery Road.
Down Cemetery Road. Like, Emma Thompson is incredible in it. Ruth Wilson's in it too, and she's great and not playing to type either. But it's Emma is so like she's kind of like a woman version of Peter Capaldi, who and 12 is my favorite Doctor. So,
Mm.
but she's so great in that. I just feel like God, can they make her the Doctor for like even one season?
That is a
So
stacked cast.
it is a stacked cast. It's a fun show. Don't expect it to be like it's by the same writer, Mike Herron, who did
Mhm.
those books, Slow Horses, that whole series. He also did Down Cemetery Road, but it's a very different kind of story, and it's really good. It's like kind of kept me on my toes. Like it's not been what I expected it to be, and that's a compliment. So, and I'm still watching it. It's not quite done, but
Mm.
I think Emma and Ruth make a really good duo. It'd be really fun if they did sort of like a, you know, Sherlock Watson kind of team up. But they're so good. I'm geeking out over that. So what else? I'm trying to think. Just kind of in a holding pattern, waiting to see what's coming back and what's
Yeah.
going to be filmed.
By the way, Ruth Wilson was amazing in Luther with Idris Elba. Like, I loved her on that show.
Yeah, well, I loved her best in
Mm.
His Dark Materials because she nailed Mrs. Coulter.
I'll have to check that out.
Oh my god, like, I love those books by Philip Pullman and,
Mhm.
his final book in the Book of Dust, which is, like, sequels to the His Dark Materials series. But in the show, the HBO show, which I thought was fantastically done, Ruth is just so deliciously awful as Mrs. Coulter, like, perfect. Uh the range that Ruth Wilson has is incredible, and she's a totally different character in Down Cemetery Road,
Mhm.
completely, and I just love it. I'm like, she's just a terrific actress. It's so fun to watch.
John wants to know, Ted Lasso.
What about
Do you geek out about Ted Lasso? Like, did
I
you enjoy
enjoyed
it?
Ted Lasso, it was a fun show.
Yeah.
Um, I like most of the Apple shows, to be honest,
Mhm.
that I've seen, so
So
I enjoyed that. Oh,
there's
Stranger Things, of course, is like the other thing to geek out
yeah.
over. What's going on right now.
That's another show that I tried getting into that I just couldn't get into.
Which one, Ted or Stranger
Stranger
Things?
Things.
I feel like that one is so it's a lot, right? Like,
Yeah.
you have to kind of just commit and stick with it, and then,
Mhm.
at this point, like, I've gotta see what happens. I gotta see how it ends. Final
Fair.
season. Final
Fair.
season, let's go. And then I am curious, I mean, because we don't know, and so we won't
Mhm.
know until the New Year, New Year's Day, how it all ends.
Mhm.
I am kind of wondering what offshoots there might be. I've heard of rumors of certain offshoot things happening, but we gotta wait and see what the final
Yeah.
countdown has.
Um, Speaking of Apple TV, have you watched The Studio?
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god. It's so painfully right on.
It's so
Right? You just wince. Like, I haven't winced so much in a show since the original run of Frasier. The studio is amazing, and,
Thank
like,
John.
everybody here in LA is like, "Yep." Yeah, absolutely. It's just, it's no wonder it's won so many awards. It's just so
Oh
hilarious.
my god.
So painful. The Ron Howard meltdown
Oh,
episode, I actually howled, I was cackling. Um,
Oh man.
I love that you just don't know what to expect. Chaos. Chaos in
That
the highest order. I love the studio.
that and Anthony Mackie in that Ron Howard episode just got me every single time.
Oh my
He's so
god.
funny in that. And
So
then the Golden Globes with Sal Saperstein, the Sal
it was
Saperstein joke.
so exactly how that would have gone.
It's so
Exactly.
funny.
And you're I thought it was so great in the car at the end, and the driver was like, "Oh, I guess you didn't win." He's like, "No, I won." And he was just so unhappy.
Such a great
Perfect.
show. Such a
Yeah,
great
I can't wait
show.
till it comes back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one Apple TV show that I don't like, and that's The Morning Show.
I haven't watched that one. I can't speculate on that one at all. I like there's a lot I still haven't seen.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Um, it's like The Newsroom, but terrible in my opinion.
Yeah, that's not really my kinda show. Not really into, like, news shows so much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of just
Um, yeah, but you're right. TV's where it's at with storytelling right now.
Yep, it
It's
is.
working. Are you like me where you miss like the 24 episode season?
Oh my god, yes, and
Yeah.
because character development, for
hmm
one thing, like, I mentioned the X-Files earlier, and
Yeah.
Star Trek, of course, Next Generation, and all of that, where we had, like, the 22 episode season. I just feel like we're missing out
hmm
on sort of standalone episodes as much as anything. Like, there's
Yeah.
always, like, this arc. Like, can we just have episodes that are independent of any other mythology going on,
hmm
and in a short, like, 8 to 10 episode season, you don't have time for that. It's
Yeah.
kind of the worst of all worlds because it's too long to be a movie and it's too short to really get in depth,
hmm
and then having binge worthy shows is a kind of another piece of that, and I think it's
Yeah.
kind of all wrapped up together, and it's just unfortunate. Like, I would love to see long seasons come back. I can't
Yes.
handle this 8 episode stuff.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Like I love Andor because it was 12 episodes, but they were an hour long. Like
Right.
that, it was perfect the way that it was. But I want that 20 episode season. Like
Yeah,
I want that with my stories. Like
exactly. And I know the cost. I understand, people are aiming towards streaming, which is
yeah.
sad, but that is the way it is, and then they're just squeezed financially. But,
hmm
yeah, I would love to have these long seasons again,
Yeah. Uh,
Please.
I also want to ask you real quick while I have you. How do you feel about the new Stargate announcement for Amazon?
Intrigued.
Yeah.
I actually really love Stargate Universe, and I was
Yes.
super, super bummed that we didn't get more of that because I loved it. I thought they were doing
hmm
something special there. But I'm intrigued,
Yeah.
I'm like, "Let's see what happens," I more Stargate could be a great thing, especially
hmm
because we've not seen it in a while, a long
Yeah.
while, so
Universe ended. Oh man.
oh my
I
god,
that ending,
that
like they leave it so open.
it was yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that
Um
kinda killed me a little bit.
Hopefully this new series wraps that up.
I would hope that they at least address it, right.
Yeah.
That would be really good, but who knows what's gonna happen, but I'm waiting to see, like, more Stargate is a good thing in my opinion.
hmm hmm
Yeah,
Um I I'm also gonna give a Stargate hot take. I think Atlantis was better than SG-1.
there's an argument to be made for that, yeah, yeah.
But I think Universe might actually be the best of the three.
It's my favorite,
Yeah,
it's my favorite, there's no
yeah.
contest, but yeah, um,
I yeah, I love what they did with the ancients in that. And I'm sorry I interrupted. I'm so
no, no,
sorry.
it's all good, we're geeking out. That's
Yeah. Um, do you game at all? Do you play games?
not often, partly because I have a balance issue,
Yeah.
and if depending on the game,
Mhm.
it can kinda mess with my, I have an inner ear problem.
Okay.
So it can kinda mess with me, and I have to be very, very careful,
Mhm.
so it's just it's unfortunate. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
I like what was the name of that game? One of the games I was playing the last couple of years was just the simplest little it was like a fishing game. It was like a little tugboat, and there were, like, kind of what's the name of that game?
Um, I
Like,
know the one that you're talking
on my
about.
tongue. Where you go around the islands and the ports, and there's creatures underwater, kinda almost Cthulhu-like creatures, but,
It was, Dredge.
yes,
Yeah.
I really liked that one. I'm a sucker for anything seaside and fishing and sailing. I'm a sailor's daughter, so I really like anything to do with, anything seaside related. The kids they play tons of games, and I kinda just watch, without trying to get, like, messed up, you know?
Yeah. Um, there is one game that I would recommend if you like being by the water and stuff. It was called Lake,
Ooh.
and it's literally a mail simulation delivery game. You go around this lakeside town delivering mail for like a week. It's great.
Sounds charming. It sounds
Yeah,
fun. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. And like you get to like interact with the various townspeople. It's so funny. Like
cute.
you have to take some lady's cat to the vet because she fed the cat muffins like at one point. Like he gorged himself on
So
muffins.
cozy, I love it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's great. It's
Yeah,
so
you know what
funny.
would be fun is if we had a Star Wars game that was a cozy Star Wars game.
Yes. Yes.
That was just like, let's be this, little vendor or like,
Yeah.
I would I would write that.
Oh yeah. I
I would
mean,
totally write that.
even like one where you like open a cantina and you have to like
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Or a bakery, or maybe you have like this whole village and you all interact. Somebody's got a bakery, somebody's got a cantina, somebody's got, I would actually really love to write something like that.
Nintendo could do it and slap the Animal Crossing label on it. Like
Absolutely. You could have all these crossovers. Yep.
yeah, yeah. Um no, I wanted to ask about that though, like about gaming and stuff. Oga's Cantina Simulator. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a hoot, and it's also I one thing people often say when they read my books is like, "Well, I'm hungry now," because I like to cook and bake, and especially in, let's see, The Veil of Seven Dragons that's coming
Mhm.
out in April, which is an epic fantasy. Obviously, there's dragons, a princess who wants to be a knight or a witch, and then there's cosmic horror, uh, villain.
Mhm.
So but in it, I get quite immersed in the world building, and I very detailed food scenes, and people are like, "I'm starving now." So, like, I feel
Nice.
like I'm kind of like there's a short story collection of mine that just came out this year called
Mhm.
To Wonder and Starshine, and it's got sci-fi and fantasy stories, and there's even some Easter egg short stories set in the Questers Saga universe. So and there's stories about robots, there's stories about fairies, there's stories about, space libraries, things like this. And yeah, so this is a charming, cozy, short story collection. It's small. It's perfect stocking stuffer size or whatever. And it's got a nice little range. And as I mentioned on the page there, I have another short story collection called Shadow Galaxy, which is a bit darker in tone and has some sort of hints of where some of my fiction has gone. But To Wonder and
Mhm.
Starshine is just a charming set of fantasy and sci-fi stories. And in that, there's bakeries, there's a honey fae, there's a robot that harvests, food. It's just like so I world building to me also includes food and fashion.
You're selling me on every single one of your stories right now, and now I have to get like a bunch of these. Like
Thank you. Yeah, and if you like thrillers, Atacama, and if you like the X-Files, Atacama. Chris Panettiere did the cover, but I did the 36 chapter header illustrations myself because I'm also an artist. So Atacama is another one that came out this year, and Doomflower, if you like Mean Girls meets Day of the Triffids. Doomflower is incredibly savage. Atacama is definitely tapping into my science background. It's kind of bringing to the fore. It was kind of hard to write in some ways because of that, because you have this sort of uncrawling building nightmare scenario, but she's also dealing with academic research in that whole environment. So it's very sort of X-Files, Twilight Zone
Mhm.
kind of a book.
John says he just ate, but he feels hungry now because he kept talking about food.
I could talk about bakeries and soups, making things, and, I feel like, again, it's just another aspect of world building. If you don't have it,
Mhm.
it doesn't feel lived in.
Mhm.
Mm,
Um, have you read Legends and Lattes?
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Travis is a really great guy. Yep, I've read that. I've not read the prequel or the sequel that's on my wish list, actually.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping I get those as gifts. But yeah, that was a very charming,
Mhm.
low key, very low stakes for, well, that's not actually true. There was some high stakes, but I love the charming, like, let's just exist in this world with,
Mhm.
our cinnamon rolls and our coffee and figure it out. And there's
Yeah.
just really something to be said for that, and even though I'm writing a big mix of things, and some of them are
Mhm.
quite dark, but I really, really want to write more cozy stuff too.
Yes.
Um, but into Wonder and Starshine, you'll definitely pick up on some cozy vibes.
I would love to see you do just a cozy science fiction, like this cantina, like on the edge of a system with
Yeah.
just like these locals, just
Yeah, I mean, I've some of the short stories are like that. And
yeah.
then some of the Questers on Saga, when it's not peril, there is some of that, where
Mhm.
you know, you have this galactic chef, and he's making tarts for the main character with his 6 arms. It's just I like to weave that sort of thing in everywhere. But I've thought about certain cozy stories.
Mhm.
And in fact, some of the short stories from both The Shadow Galaxy and To Wonder and Starshine, I am probably shooting off into novels. Atacama is an offshoot of a short story from The Shadow Galaxy called The Scaffold.
Nice.
Yeah. So I definitely wanna do it, if I get an agent, I'll talk to them about that,
Mhm.
because right now I'm kind of representing myself almost. I'm still getting deals, but, it's kinda hard to break into some of the really big publishers without an agent. So that's
Yeah.
my goal in the New Year's, trying to get an agent.
Well, I wish you the best of luck with that
Thank you. I
because
think, with Dungeon Crawl at the Haunted Maw, that's my biggest book, um, and it's distributed by Penguin, so now I'm now part of that ecosystem, and that will be a game changer for me.
I'm going to share the screen for that real quick before.
Yeah, this one is the wildest, wackiest, over the top. It's like you are part of this group of, young preteens. It's a middle grade book, but it's middle grade to infinity, okay?
Mhm.
Because a lot of people are gonna wanna read it, and you're basically like vloggers, you're wanting to go explore this abandoned mall that supposedly was shut down due to a toxic river spill back in the '80s. But what really happened was that a warlock from another dimension overtook them all, transformed everybody in it into these insane creatures and other things. And so it's very sort of '80s and '90s coded, and it's over the top, gross out, like ridiculous. And what I put these kids through is just too much. But so it's a true choose your own adventure book. So you pick. It's absolutely Goonies coded, and it is so over the top. And anybody who's ever been in a mall in the '80s and '90s is going to be like, I know exactly what you're talking. But that the younger kids won't know, right, as much. But I
Mhm.
I get pretty descriptive. You remember like Ren and Stimpy with the gross ups?
Yes.
Yeah, think about that. Uh, like Goonies, Mallrats,
Oh.
Stranger Things, Heather's even a little bit of a nod there. But so it's kind of a blender of all that stuff, and it's over the top. And this is gonna be my biggest book because Penguin's distributing it, and so I actually have a book tour related to this book.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, like, what is happening? So, I'm kind of amazed, that this took off, and weirdly enough, it came about because of Threads. I I I saw Choose Your Own Adventure, the account. I was like, I always wanted to write one of those. And they're like, well, you just send us a pitch. And so I sent them like 20 pitches.
Hmm.
And we went down through and kept narrowing it down. And finally, like everybody was like, this is the one. And so that's how it happened. And yeah, it just boom, here we go. And it's just a lot of fun. I think it's like I said, it's gonna be my biggest book. It's gonna be actually in the stores everywhere. And I don't know. I'd love to write more of them because I have so many ideas. And this is a different form of writing for me. It's a form of game writing
Hmm.
and my first foray into that. So I would love to write game writing, like any sort of IP that we've talked about doing Star Wars. It'd be
Yeah.
great to do a Star Wars Choose Your Own Adventure.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it would just be any of it. I would be happy to do. It was a great, fun exercise and a challenge, right? Because you're coming up with all these alternatives. So,
Um, I have to ask because you mentioned Mallrats, which is one of my absolute favorite movies. Um, is there a damn kid on the escalator, and is there an argument whether or not the Cookie Hut becomes it should be part of the food court?
no, but there are some nods that you'll appreciate. You will appreciate it. Like any sort of 80s mall movie, and
Hmm.
I was that girl. I was in the
Hmm.
mall. Like at first when I was like a young teen, I was like camped out in B. Dalton books, like in the sci-fi
Yeah.
and fantasy section, just sliding to the floor, scooping all these books into my arms. And then as I got older and like you start roaming the mall as a young teen and then
Yeah.
entering your older teens with your friends, and there was a whole subculture to it. And so I
Hmm.
remember all that very clearly. And I definitely put that into the mall. So like this is a person who was in an 80s mall in 80s and 90s malls, came of age, uh,
Hmm.
like I graduated high school in 92. So like I was like in it. And it was there's a lot of my own sort of memories of how that was. And I lived in a small town and we didn't have much to do
Yeah.
in East Tennessee. And so I went to the mall, and that was a whole thing. So there's a lot of that, but there's also homages to other both fantasy and horror and
Mhm.
sci-fi all through the book. You're gonna pick up on a lot of different little Easter eggs that I've dropped along the way. Do you have any choose your own adventure books you could recommend? There are a lot of really great new ones.
Mhm.
I just do recommend that you go to the site, the Choose Your Own Adventure site, and take a look. Like this one is available for pre-order and it comes out in April 21. So you can pre-order it anywhere. But the Choose Your Own Adventure site has so many. They're reissuing some of the classics, which is great, and then they have these new adventures, the new classics, and mine is one of those. So it's a lot of fun. They've got a lot of fun stuff planned too. I think for the future. So it's great because it appeals to so many ages. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, like I mentioned earlier, like some of the younger kids are not going to get. They might get some of the references in the book because of Stranger Things, because
Mhm.
that was the whole subplot. But the parents, and those of us who are gonna pick this up, whether or not we have kids, you're gonna get it. You're gonna get the jokes. It's kinda like watching Bugs Bunny, right? Or like the older you like some of the stuff is gonna go over the head, and then the older, enjoyers of it are gonna go like, "Yep." So, lots of Easter eggs. I love to write, hooks and Easter eggs into everything.
That's awesome. Like,
It was fun. It was
I'm so excited for this now. Like, I'm so excited for this book.
it's so twisted. It's I was just like horns growing out of my head writing this going,
Mhm.
so,
Um, yeah, those were always fun books. I remember getting a bunch from the
oh,
library,
yeah.
and yeah,
And that's
yeah,
another great thing about it is that it's gonna be in libraries and,
yeah.
it'll be enjoyed by a lot of kids. So
Hmm.
I'm thrilled. I'm really thrilled. It's an honor, and it's
Yeah.
it's just so fun. I'd love to do more.
Hmm.
So we'll see.
Well, yeah. Here's hoping because I think that I just love hearing your passion about that because it's
Yeah,
just something really
it's
cool
a hoot. It's a hoot.
um and it kind of reminds me of lit RPG in a way.
Oh, absolutely, and,
Yeah.
like, I mean, I've done Dungeons& and Dragons. I also wrote, a short story for an RPG in Thrones& and Bones, like, Lou Anders had come up with his own system, very similar to
Hmm.
Dungeons& and Dragons and, called Thrones& and Bones, and I had written, a short story for an anthology for him, and one of my characters in it is now part of gameplay, like game lore, so that's really cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. So and I also really, I like Warhammer,
Hmm.
so, like, I would love to write Warhammer as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Warhammer is pretty cool. I
Yeah,
mean,
we've got Old World, Age of Sigmar,
mhm.
is and of course, 40K.
And Blood Bowl. You can't forget Blood Bowl.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing some homework for that so that I can maybe try to pitch some stories for them.
Nice. That would
Yeah.
be really cool. I'd love
Yeah,
to
it
see what
would,
you
and
do.
I know a lot of people who write Warhammer,
Mhm.
so it's I can always talk to them.
I just finished actually the first book in the Horus Heresy. I did the audiobook for it, and that was an
Nice.
intense book. Like that was that was an
I
intense
need to
book.
get hold of that one. I also kind of bummed because I was wanting Adrian's new one, and it
Mhm.
sold out immediately. I'm like,
Mhm.
"Really?" Um, Adrian
Yeah.
Tchaikovsky is a friend, so
Oh, very cool.
yeah, he's great. He's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, so where can we find you on socials?
So you can get a jumping off point from jendiagammon.com if you want to, which is my website. I'm most places online.
Mhm.
And in most places, it's at Jendia Gammon, although for TikTok, it's at Jendia Gammon Author, all one word. But it's all linked from my site. So come and find me. I'm on Threads a lot, Instagram, Blue Sky to a certain extent. I'm even on Mastodon. Not as much X anymore. I am there, but like I don't post there as much
Yeah.
because action is just not there as like it was. So Threads has really taken off for the nerd
Mhm.
filled Blue Sky. A lot of writers are on both, so you kind of just grab wherever. I'm even on LinkedIn, so I'm out there. Come find me, come follow me. I am extremely online, and I have been since 1993. So it's just another part of what I do.
Oh, the 90s internet. That's for a whole nother show at some point.
The X Files chat groups were kind of how I got into social media. I'm just
That
all about geeking out.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was the way that you had your water cooler talk, like online.
Absolutely. Like,
Yeah,
I had if I didn't have that with the X-Files, I would've gone crazy trying to come up with
yeah.
theories.
Oh yeah. I mean, and that's also when the where the first fan fictions were being written
Oh,
too.
yeah, there's plenty of that. I mean, understandably, kinda screamed for it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Well, once again, thank you for joining me. I really appreciate this. I
This has
hope you
been
had a
fun.
good time. Yeah,
Yeah. Thanks for the
yeah.
questions. Thank you to the audience for being here.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that is it for us this year. Keep in mind that our Discord holiday party is the 21st. So join our Discord if you haven't already done that. But that is it for us. So if we don't see you, have a happy holidays.
Happy
Have a
holidays.
wonderful new year. And we will talk to you all later. May the force be with you. Goodbye.
Bye.